Capricorn, this Mercury retrograde is not here to confuse you. It is here to test your power. While many people fear retrogrades for the delays, the miscommunications, and the technology glitches, your experience runs deeper. This is not just about missed emails or rescheduled plans. This is about how you respond when your control feels challenged. Over the next few weeks, situations may slow down, conversations may become unclear, and responsibilities may require revision. But the real question is not what is happening around you. The real question is how you handle it. Mercury retrograde happens 3 to 4 times every year. Scientifically, it is simply an optical illusion. Mercury does not actually move backward in space. It only appears that way because of the difference in orbital speed between Earth and Mercury. But in astrology, symbolism matters. When Mercury appears to move backward, it represents review, reassessment, reflection, and unfinished business resurfacing. It slows communication, disrupts plans, and exposes hidden misunderstandings. It does not destroy strong foundations. It reveals weak ones. In Capricorn, you are ruled by Saturn, the planet of structure, discipline, and long-term authority. You are not impulsive. You are not careless. You build carefully and strategically. You value stability. You respect responsibility. So when Mercury retrograde creates temporary instability, it can feel like a direct challenge to your competence. But here is the truth. Capricorn does not fear hard work. Capricorn fears wasted effort. And Mercury retrograde is not about wasting your effort. It is about refining it. This cycle may bring professional tests. A project you believed was complete may require edits. A leadership role may feel questioned. Someone may misunderstand your intentions. Communication may feel slower or less reliable. Deadlines may shift. These moments can feel frustrating because you pride yourself on efficiency and precision. But this is where the test begins. Is your authority reactive, or is it rooted? When someone challenges you, do you become defensive, or do you become observant? When plans change, do you panic internally, or do you recalibrate calmly? When progress slows, do you interpret it as failure, or do you recognize it as redirection? Pressure does not create character. It reveals it. Mercury retrograde exposes what needs review. And for you, that may include your systems, your boundaries, your communication style, and your expectations. Perhaps you have been carrying too much responsibility without delegating. Perhaps you have been tolerating unclear communication because you did not want conflict. Perhaps you have been pushing forward without pausing to reassess whether your goals still align with who you are becoming. This retrograde slows things down so you can see clearly. You may also notice old situations resurfacing. Someone from your past may reach out. An unresolved conversation may return. A financial matter may require adjustment. Retrogrades are known for bringing back unfinished business. But they do not do this to trap you. They do this to give you closure or correction. Capricorn energy thrives on mastery, and mastery requires revision. You are being asked to refine your power, not prove it. At work, this could mean renegotiating instead of accepting less. It could mean reviewing contracts more carefully. It could mean strengthening your communication to avoid misunderstandings. It could mean recognizing that your leadership style needs subtle adjustment. None of this diminishes you. It sharpens you. Emotionally, this period may feel quieter but intense. Capricorn does not easily show vulnerability. You prefer stability over drama. But Mercury retrograde often brings internal reflection. You may find yourself thinking about long-term goals, questioning whether certain responsibilities still serve you, evaluating relationships where effort feels uneven. Someone may test your patience. A colleague may challenge your decision. A family member may expect more than you can realistically give. The test is simple. Can you hold your boundaries calmly? True power does not shout. It stands firm. This retrograde may also highlight where ego has influenced decisions. Capricorn takes pride in achievement. But if something was built purely to meet expectations rather than personal alignment, you may feel the tension now. That is not failure. That is awareness. The universe is not removing your power. It is asking you to stabilize it. You may experience delays that initially feel inconvenient, but later, you may realize they protected you from rushing into something unprepared. You may experience misunderstandings that force deeper conversations. You may revisit an idea you once abandoned and see its potential more clearly now. Retrogrades are famous for giving second chances, but only if you're willing to look honestly at what needs improvement. There's also something karmic about this period. Saturn, your ruling planet, respects accountability. Mercury retrograde demands review. Together, they create a powerful opportunity for maturity. If you remain patient, if you respond strategically rather than emotionally, your authority strengthens. While others complain about inconvenience, you're refining your systems. You might even notice something surprising. As chaos unfolds around you, you remain relatively steady. That steadiness is your strength. You are built for long-term endurance. You understand that temporary setbacks do not define permanent outcomes. And here is something to remember. Mercury retrograde is temporary. It does not last forever, but the improvements you make during this period can last for years. So instead of resisting the slowdown, use it. Double-check details. Review contracts. Revisit unfinished goals. Strengthen communication. Clarify boundaries. Organize plans. Clean up loose ends. This is not glamorous work, but Capricorn understands the value of foundation. When Mercury stations direct again, you may notice that you feel clearer, sharper, more precise, not because nothing went wrong, but because you handled it with control. They say Mercury retrograde ruins texts and travel plans. Messages get misunderstood. Emails disappear. Flights get delayed. Devices freeze at the worst possible moment. People blame the planet for every inconvenience. And while there is some humor in that, because yes, during Mercury retrograde, even the simplest conversations can feel complicated, what is happening beneath the surface is far more meaningful for you, Capricorn. For you, this period is not about broken technology. It is about leadership under pressure. Anyone can lead when circumstances are smooth. Anyone can appear confident when plans unfold exactly as expected. But true leadership is revealed when things wobble, when timelines shift, when communication falters, when others lose patience. That is when your presence matters most. Mercury retrograde has a way of slowing everything down just enough to expose cracks in systems and character. For some, this exposure feels threatening. For you, it is an opportunity. It reveals where structure needs reinforcement. It highlights where boundaries need strengthening. It clarifies where assumptions have replaced communication. And if you're willing to observe rather than react, you gain insight that others overlook. This period is not asking you to dominate. It is not asking you to prove your authority or assert control over every situation. Capricorn energy sometimes feels pressure to carry everything alone, to fix every problem, manage every detail, stabilize every environment. But Mercury retrograde does not reward force. It rewards awareness. It is asking you to discipline yourself further. That may sound intense, but discipline for you is not punishment. It is refinement. It is sharpening what is already strong. During this time, you may feel subtle triggers. A comment that feels dismissive. A delay that disrupts your carefully arranged schedule. A misunderstanding that challenges your credibility. The instinct might be to correct it immediately, to reassert control, to push forward harder. But this retrograde invites a different response. It invites you to pause, to respond instead of react, to observe before speaking, to plan before committing, to remain calm when others are scattered. There is immense power in restraint, especially for someone who naturally carries responsibility. When you pause before responding, you prevent escalation. When you observe carefully, you gather information others miss. When you plan before committing, you protect your long-term vision from short-term emotional impulses. And that is what this retrograde is testing, your composure. Mercury may appear to move backward, but you are moving inward toward refinement, clarity, and stronger authority. Retrogrades always carry an inward quality. They turn attention from external action to internal alignment. They ask, why are you doing what you are doing? Is this aligned with your long-term purpose? Are you operating from confidence or from fear of losing control? For Capricorn, whose identity is often tied to achievement and stability, this inward movement can feel unfamiliar. You are accustomed to building outward, career milestones, financial security, tangible accomplishments. But inward refinement is equally important, because without internal clarity, external success feels heavy rather than empowering. During this time, you may revisit decisions you made months ago. You may question whether certain responsibilities are still yours to carry. You may recognize that some structures in your life were built out of obligation rather than genuine alignment. This does not mean you failed. It means you are evolving. Evolution requires review. This is your test, not of skill, not of intelligence, of composure. Your intelligence is not in question. Your capability is not in question. You have proven yourself repeatedly through persistence and results. What is being examined now is how you hold yourself when circumstances are imperfect. Do you become rigid, or do you become adaptable? Do you shut down emotionally, or do you communicate more clearly? Do you attempt to control others, or do you focus on mastering your own reactions? Composure is a quiet strength. It does not demand attention. It does not create noise, but it commands respect. When others feel overwhelmed by retrograde confusion, your steadiness becomes visible. When communication becomes unclear, your precision becomes valuable. When emotions run high, your grounded presence becomes reassuring. In Capricorn, your real power has never been about control over others. It has always been about control over yourself, control over your impulses, control over your reactions, control over your standards, control over your time and energy. That is what makes you formidable. Not dominance, not intimidation, but discipline. Mercury retrograde can tempt people into blaming circumstances for their frustration. It's the retrograde, it's the timing, it's bad luck. But you are being invited to transcend that mindset. Instead of blaming the slowdown, you use it. You double-check details instead of assuming. You clarify expectations instead of assuming others understand. You revisit agreements instead of rushing forward. You correct inefficiencies that were previously ignored. That is self-control in action. And self-control builds lasting authority. When this retrograde ends, you will not be weaker. You will not be behind. You will not be diminished. You will be more deliberate, more strategic, more respected. Because while others were distracted by inconvenience, you were strengthening your foundation. Foundations matter to you. You understand that no structure stands without them. During Mercury retrograde, the universe temporarily slows external progress so you can reinforce what holds everything together. It may not feel glamorous. It may not feel dramatic, but it is powerful. You may realize that certain conversations need closure, that certain commitments need revision, that certain goals need adjustment. Making those corrections now prevents larger disruptions later. There is maturity in that, there's foresight in that, and there's strength in that. Mercury retrograde is not testing whether you can control everything around you. It is testing whether you can control yourself. Can you remain calm when plans change? Can you listen fully before responding? Can you admit when something needs revision? Can you step back from ego and focus on integrity? These are not small questions. They define long-term leadership. Capricorn energy is often associated with authority, but true authority does not fear reflection. It does not fear review. It does not fear correction. In fact, it welcomes it because correction strengthens credibility. During this time, you may also notice that your patience feels thinner at moments. That is natural. You prefer efficiency. You prefer progress. You prefer clarity. But retrogrades blur lines temporarily so that you can redraw them more clearly. Instead of seeing frustration as weakness, treat it as feedback. What is triggering you? What expectation is not being met? What boundary is unclear? Every irritation contains information. And if you gather that information calmly, you transform irritation into strategy. You may also experience moments where your leadership is quietly acknowledged. Perhaps someone appreciates your calm response during confusion. Perhaps your thorough review prevents a mistake. Perhaps your discipline stabilizes a situation that could have escalated. These moments may not be loud. They may not come with applause, but they build reputation. And reputation is a form of power. Remember, Mercury retrograde does not last forever. It is a cycle, a temporary inward turn. When Mercury moves direct again, forward momentum returns. But the internal adjustments you made remain. The clarity you gained remains. The boundaries you strengthened remain. You emerge more precise, more grounded, more aware. That is growth. This retrograde may also reveal where you have been overextending yourself. Capricorn sometimes takes on more than necessary because you believe it is your responsibility to hold things together. But self-control also means knowing when to delegate, when to step back, when to allow others to carry their share. Control over yourself includes protecting your energy. It includes recognizing that discipline does not mean overwork. It includes understanding that authority does not require constant proving. As you move through this cycle, keep asking yourself, am I reacting from fear of losing control or responding from confidence in my foundation? The answer will guide you. If you choose composure over impulse, reflection over ego, discipline over dominance, you pass this test with strength. And that is where your true power lies. Not in forcing outcomes, not in controlling every variable, but in mastering your internal state regardless of external circumstances. Mercury may appear to move backward in the sky. Conversations may feel slower. Plans may feel delayed. But internally, you are advancing. You are refining your systems. You are clarifying your standards. You are strengthening your authority from within. That kind of power cannot be shaken by temporary confusion. That kind of power does not depend on perfect timing. That kind of power is built on self-mastery. So let others blame the retrograde for every inconvenience. Let them complain about delayed messages and misread texts. You are playing a different game. You are observing. You are adjusting. You are strengthening. And when this cycle closes, the difference will be visible. Not because you forced control, but because you embodied it. Mercury retrograde is not your obstacle. It is your training ground. In Capricorn, you have always understood that growth requires discipline. Stay calm, stay deliberate, stay aware, because the more you control yourself, the less the world can control you. And that is where your true power lies.